Hi YouTube, this is Tinka OES Lady with an update to my update video. And we went to the African American Children's Book Fair this weekend. And this was a book fair that just had children's books, and there were about 8 authors who did children's books, African American children's books that is, and we purchased some books, of course, while we were there, along with t-shirt, and I have some posters that they were giving away for free. So let me first go over the books that we got. Now, let me preface the whole thing by saying this. The book fair was from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock at Philadelphia Community College in the gymnasium. I would say that it was about 400 people there. It was very crowded, and they had all the books out on one area that was corralled off from the main area on tables, and you had to go through like cattle, literally, hoping that you could get to your book and just follow along, going around and round and around till you got your books, and then you paid for them. And then after you went through the long line that reached to the back of the gym and then back again, you could pay for your books and then have the author sign them. We did not do that. The books that I purchased for Malcolm, who is 2 years old, he will be 3 in May. I know y'all probably thinking I've been saying he's 2 for a long time, but he will be 3 in May. I got this book by Jabari Asim, Whose Knees Are These? I thought this was really cute. And you can see the author's name. And that actually is the second of the pair. The first book is Whose Toes Are These? And my son Malcolm gets my cell phone and takes pictures of his feet a lot, so I thought he would get a kick out of this. And it's by Jabari Asim. And you see the little feet, and they're brown. The illustrations are really, really cute. The story is really, really cute. Talks about his toes. So can't wait to read those over and over. Another book that I got was The Childhood of Famous Americans series by George H. Stanley. And this particular part of the series is about Coretta Scott King, the First Lady of Civil Rights. And this book is more along the line for a young adult. This is for my 7th grader. And this book was $5.99. The other 2 books that I got for Malcolm, they were $6.99 each. You know how those hard books usually cost a lot. Then I got this book called Ruth and the Green Book. Okay. Hope it shows up nicely. I step back a little. And this is by Calvin Alexander Ramsey and illustrated by Floyd Cooper. And this is about a little girl in the early 1950s. Few African Americans could afford to buy cars, so they would be traveling, usually either going down south to visit their grandmother and such. I haven't read the book yet, but I pretty much know what the premise of the book is about. And Ruth is traveling, and she has her green book with her. No one is familiar with or has not talked with enough older African Americans about their experience growing up in the South and traveling back and forth from north to south. The Green Book was a book that you would use that would tell you where you were allowed to eat, where you were allowed to stop, where you were allowed to sleep. It was like a handbook for African American blacks, Negroes who were on the road traveling. And she basically talks about that in this book. Another book that I got was the story of Ruby Bridges. Alright, the story of Ruby Bridges. And this is one that I'll probably share with all of them. It's a Scholastic book. It was $6.99. let me go back real quick. The Ruth and the Green book cost $16.95. The Ruby Bridges book, $6.99. It's a Scholastic book. It's very thin, very fast reading. A good reference for African American History Month, which we are in, and we plan to learn a lot of things this month. And this is going to be the story about Ruby Bridges, and this is a young lady that helped shape American history when she became the first African American sent to first grade in an all-white school. And this should be really interesting, and I'll be able to elaborate more with this with my older child, because I think they really don't know how hard it was for people to get an education. Another book that I got was The Voice of Her Own, A Voice of Her Own, the story of Phillis Wheatley, slave poet. And because my third grader loves poetry, didn't know who Phillis Wheatley was. One of the dormitories at the college I went to, Florida A&M, is called Wheatley Hall, named after Phillis Wheatley. We also had a Truth Hall, Sojourner Truth Hall, and so on. This book was $7.99. But I think it's going to be really valuable, something that we will revisit a lot of times. There's beautiful pictures in this, so it's basically for all of them. I also got a book called Who Was Harriet Tubman by Yona Zeldis McDonough, illustrated by Nancy Harrison. And this is about Harriet Tubman, and look at the picture of Harriet on the cover, and she's carrying a little light. And you see a little bit of a slave quarter scene with the major house in the back. And this is a really good book. This is something that I would share with them all. It's a chapter book. I believe it has no more than 10 chapters in it, but it's about this thick. And we're going to enjoy that one. And the last one that I got, mainly for myself, because I'm always interested, and it is a Newbery Honor book. I love to get books who have that award, and it's a Puffin modern classic, To Be a Slave, by Julius Lester. And it says, they who were held as slaves looked upon themselves and servitude in which they found themselves with the eyes and minds of human beings, conscious of everything that happened to them, conscious of all that went on around them, yet slaves are often pictured as little more than dumb, brute animals whose sole attributes were found in working, singing, and dancing. They were like children, and slavery was actually a benefit for them. This was the view of those who were not slaves. Those who were slaves tell a different story. So, that caught my attention. Can't wait to read it. I'll review it if anybody's interested. Very good book. And that's the end of the books that we got. You were also able to get, real quick if I can show these, free posters. And since I am at a point right now where we have not a lot on our walls in the kids' rooms, I've got some posters that I thought were really nice. One is about the busy tree, and they're basically posters about different books, but the illustrations are really nice. It's glossy, it's rather large. I like the owl in the picture and the animals. I got this one called I Sing the Rhythm of Gospel, paintings by Michelle Wood. This is very nice. I would actually frame this one. Can you see that? It's really good. Okay. Another one that's really nice is this one, Dave the Potter, written by Laban Carrick-Hill, illustrated by Brian Collier. This scene is really nice. He's obviously an African American potter doing his work in his workshop. Very nice. And this is Sivu's Six Wishes by Jude Daly. And this is just a portrait. You see that there is an African American guy sitting on the steps there. And I have just a few minutes left. I'll show you. Mouse was mad. And this is by Linda Urban, illustrated by Henry Cole. And this one is called Gonzalo Grabs the Good Life by Janice Levy and Bill Slavin. Now it's really funny that I'm sure these are all posters that are showing off or basically promoting an African American author or book, and I did not see all of these books here, but at least I will have these posters to show that we attended this, and I will probably date them on the back, frame some of them, hang some just the way they are, and I think it'll be a colorful, very inexpensive addition to the classroom area and also to our children's rooms. So, thank you very much. If you are liking or interested in any of the books, or if I didn't give you the author and everything, please just put something in the comment and I will respond to you. If you want to see a review of any of them, after we read them, I will definitely review it. Thank you very much. This has been Tinka OES Lady for our homeschool journey, and this is just another edition. I have one more video to do today, and that will be the end of our videos for today, and that will be the conclusion to our science lab. Thank you very much. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Also want to say really quick, I have 100 subscribers now, maybe 101 now. I'm so excited about that. That made me want to continue to make videos, although I have a hard time doing it. Thank you.